Welcome back to Fujitsu World Tour London 2018. We're continuing to bring you the Facebook Live broadcast by Vertical. Next up is security. So if you're working within a business who's not addressing their security challenges, this Facebook Live is for you. With me, Haroon Malik, Director of Cybersecurity Consulting at Fujitsu.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us. I fear this is going to be the live that people are going to pay most attention to, because I don't think we've done enough to talk about the security challenge over the last year or so.
Yeah.
The landscape's changed quite a bit in just the last year, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, absolutely. So cybersecurity is essentially one of those disciplines that ceases to amaze us all the time. Every day, every hour, there is a new threat, there is a new exploit, there is a new bug. And the important thing to remember now is that you don't need to be a bank to have a cyber attack. You can be making chocolate digestive biscuits, you could be a global empire. In one way or another, cybersecurity is going to impact you in any single way. And that's purely because the threats are evolving. They're becoming more sophisticated, they're becoming more advanced, and they're becoming more targeted as well.
There's a lot of debate around whether security is a security problem or a boardroom problem. Okay. What are your views on this?
Good. So traditionally, security was one of those disciplines that was always seen as the IT problem. Yeah, but we know now, with what's happened with various brands that have been impacted in the press and media, we know that when a company has a cyber attack, it's not just the IT that's impacted. It's the brand, it's the reputation. It can lead to fines and penalties, and that's why cybersecurity needs to be taken up many options to the board level discussion. The good news is cyber is becoming that board level conversation compared to when I started in cybersecurity a few years ago. I think the issue we still find is that boards still struggle to understand what questions to ask. So we have cyber on the board level agenda, great. What questions do we need to ask? So questions such as what critical assets do we need to protect? If we had a breach, how soon will we know? Will we know tomorrow, or will we know next year like some firms do?
Let's talk cyber resilience and specifically awareness and culture.
Sure.
What roles do they have to play?
Okay, so there was a time when I got involved in cybersecurity, everything was around the technology. What technology do we need to be focusing on to make our firm cyber resilient? But if you look at the research has shown that 90% of cyber attacks in 2017 boiled down to some element of human error and human behavior.
Interesting.
So now companies are beginning to realize, hey, we can have the best technology, the best toys in place, but if our staff don't know the difference between a phishing email and a genuine email, the technology is only going to be of limited value. So I always say, don't tick the box and just decide a 15-minute training is good. Look at how you're going to change employee behavior. How are you going to instill that cybersecurity risk culture within all your employees? And that's the number one priority. That's what needs to happen first, and the rest follows after that.
And this is all tied in with Fujitsu's philosophy on intelligent-led security?
Absolutely, yes, exactly. So we very much believe on intelligence-led security. We used to talk about information-led security, but because the threat actors are becoming more and more sophisticated, more and more advanced, just knowing what's on your network doesn't do it anymore. You need to know what your threats are, what's behind the network, how they're behaving, where they're moving to. So that's why we talk about intelligence-led. And again, that's what helps create a cyber-resilient organization.
Last couple of questions. I mean, the boardroom debate is a really interesting one. And I think you got a really interesting observation that not knowing the right questions to ask. But surely CEOs in today's age, the economy we find ourselves in, changing landscapes, they've got to have a duty to explore this and understand it more, haven't they?
Very, very good question, CJ. So the way I look at it is the boards are grappling with cybersecurity in terms of what it actually is. And unfortunately, they still get explained about cybersecurity in a very technical manner. And that doesn't work. You can't take the technical cybersecurity conversation to a CFO, to a CEO. So part of my role in Fujitsu is to take that conversation from an IT-led discussion to a business risk discussion. How do we make the board and executive understand cybersecurity in the way that they get it, in the language that they get it, in the terminology that they get it? Not enough. I think we've still got a long way to go. But if we can do more of that, the board and executive will be in a much better position to understand what steps they need to take, essentially.
If you had one message to land with C-suite that are watching this, what would it be?
My message would be, don't think that you're immune from a cyber attack. As I said earlier on, if you're a small company, if you're a large global bank, cybersecurity is something that impacts every single organization. No matter what you do, if you have data, if you have a network, you really need to make cybersecurity your top priority.
Sage advice. Haroon, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
We're going to continue to bring you the broadcast by Vertical. Still lots more to come from Fujitsu World Tour London. Thanks for watching.